All right, Chairman.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The Board of Adjustment is now in session. My name is Anthony Robinson, and I will be chairing today's meeting. Attending today's virtual meeting are board members George Hitt, Joe Klitzing, Deneen Vaughn, and Jim Dallas. Also in attendance for the city is Mary Hart Burton, Zoning Administrator for the city, Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the city, who will represent the city in the cases we are hearing today, Andrea Gutierrez, Lead Zoning Specialist. Our attorney for the board is Archer Mellon, and our court reporter is Laura Stewart. Today we will be hearing 4 cases. First, we will hear, First, we will hear from the city's representative who will explain why the permit could not be issued. Next, we will hear from the petitioner and or their representative. Please be prepared to explain your hardship and answer any inquiries from the board members. Then we will hear from those in favor of the appeal and then from those opposed. Please be concise, as testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. When you come online via video or telephone, please wait to be sworn in by the court reporter, and then please state your name and mailing address. To ensure proper records for our court reporter, we ask that those online or by telephone to please remain on mute. Following testimony on all of today's cases, the board will go into its deliberative portion of the hearing, at which time we will vote on all cases heard. The board will notify each applicant and or their representative of its decision in about 2 weeks. You are welcome to remain during our deliberations. However, we will not hear additional testimony at that time. You may also call the lead zoning specialist, Drea, tomorrow at 314-622-3666 to learn the outcome of your appeal. Again, that number is 314-622-3666. Drea, will you please read appeal number 11995?
Appeal number 11995, 3222 Morgan Ford Road.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to construct a new commercial building, a restaurant with a drive-through per plans, zoning only at 3222 Morgan Ford Road. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Vince Emo, care of Sarah Gibson with Bush Construction, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to construct a new commercial building, a restaurant with a drive-through per plan zoning only at 3222 Morgan Ford Road, located in city block number 4153.00. The present zoning for this address is F, Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.010, use is prohibited. No structure or land shall be used for use other than those permitted in the district in which such premises are located, unless such use is permitted by other provisions of the zoning code. Also, section 26.16.050, changes in a non-conforming use. If no structural alterations are made, a non-conforming use of a building may be changed to another non-conforming use of the same or a more restricted classification. Also, section 26.16.060, discontinuing a non-conforming use. In the event a non-conforming use of any structure or premises is discontinued or its normal operation stopped for a period of 1 year, the use of the same thereafter shall conform to the regulations of the district in which it is located. Also, section 26.16.080D, off-street parking and loading requirements. The following schedule of parking spaces and layout standards shall apply to all parking facilities in the city. It goes on to list the angle parking, 30, 45, 60, and 90, giving the depth, the width, and the aisle width. Also, it says that parallel parking spaces shall be at least 22 feet in length and 8 feet in width. And then finally, section 26.40.0226, site requirements for carryout restaurants. A carryout restaurant shall comply with the requirements of either of the following numbered paragraphs. B states that the carryout restaurant is a carryout restaurant that sells to customers who are in cars or who consume the sold products in cars parked on the carryout restaurant premises, or is a carryout restaurant that sells products through a sales window to customers who are in cars for immediate consumption by the customers either on or off the premises. Provided that number 1 says for lots that are contiguous with or directly across a street, alley, public, or private easement from a dwelling district, and goes on to list all of the site requirements. And site requirement A says that the lot contains a minimum of 20,000 square feet. F says that a minimum of 15 parking spaces shall be provided on a lot. Parking areas shall be screened at all property lines with a 10-foot landscaped strip continuous with or directly across an alley or public or private easement other than a public street from any existing residential use or dwelling district. It also says that parking area screens shall consist of a minimum of a 2-foot high berm and a masonry or wood barrier that is at least 70% opaque and not less than 6 feet in height and shall be maintained in good order. And then letter G states that a landscape strip not less than 3 feet in width shall be provided along all public streets and shall contain 2 feet high solid landscaping or masonry wall not less than 2 feet in height, except that these elements shall not be required in approved driveways. And then street trees shall be installed in the street lawn between the public sidewalk and public street. When the tree lawn has sufficient width, or street trees with grates shall be installed in public sidewalks where the sidewalk has sufficient width and is on an earth base with a minimum of 25 feet between trees, not including driveways. And then it says that a minimum of 15% of the lot area shall be landscaped, including the screening areas. Evidence of lawful nonconformity is not been presented. Sorry, that was a mouthful, but in summary, the applicant is applying to construct a carryout restaurant with a drive-through, and it's located in the F Neighborhood Commercial District. This proposal is actually replacing an existing non-conforming Imo's Pizza with a drive-through pickup window. The building will be placed actually closer to the street, have approximately 350 square feet of interior dining space. It also includes approximately 350 square feet of patio space. The removal of the existing structure discontinues the nonconformity it previously had, and therefore it shall be required to conform to the regulations of the district. In the F district, carryout restaurants with a drive-through that are contiguous to dwelling districts are considered conditional use. So conditional use approval is required. And then there's a variety of site requirements that must be met. This proposal does not meet all the site requirements. Therefore, an area variance would be required. Specifically, the site requirements that have not been met are the minimum lot size. You're required to have 20,000 square feet of land, and this parcel is only 13,125 square feet. It also requires that there be a 10-foot deep landscape strip along an alley and side property line when contiguous with residential use. In this case, because of the size of the parcel, a 10-foot width landscape strip would actually eat up a lot of their parking. And then finally, per site requirement G, 15% of the total lot should be landscaped. And it is calculated that only about 11% of the lot is landscaped. And then finally, an area variance is required for the parking layout standards. One of the parking spaces is a parallel parking spot that's required to be 22 feet deep. And the parking space is only 17 feet, 11 and 7/8 inch. So even to summarize more, a conditional use approval for a carryout restaurant with a drive-through, an area variance for not meeting site requirements, and an area variance for parking layout standards. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this location. This falls in the medium intensity corridor of the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan. And this designation describes areas of the city that should be pedestrian focused and designed to accommodate people arriving via foot, bus, and bicycle, as well as in cars. These areas support a range of residential and commercial uses while discouraging automobile-related commercial activities and drive-throughs. The granting of the variance at this site would not be in keeping with the SLUP. Additionally, a future zoning district at this site, as determined by ongoing zoning upgrade, will likely conform with the SLUP designation, which would mean uses with a drive-through will be prohibited in the future as well. Staff does not recommend undercutting the work of the SLUP and the zoning upgrade by granting this variance. So therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11995 is not in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Ms. Gibson.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Sarah Gibson with Bush Construction, 1536 Tower Grove Avenue, 63110.
Good. Proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Evan, for the summarization. I think you covered much of what I was going to summarize just with the site conditions and where we've been able to where we are non-compliant, obviously, and then where we are working to comply with, we're able to, obviously, we don't have, the existing building is on a 13,000 square foot lot, and it has a drive-through, and that Vince has been in operation since, Vince Emo, who's also here today, my client, has been in business since 1980 and has been operating a drive-through and a pickup window on that site in an existing structure. Since then, as Evan said, we are moving the building closer to the street and are looking to comply with the regulations of what should be happening on a 20,000 square foot lot. So with this only being 13,000 square feet, we've been able to maintain the 3-foot landscape barriers that are required on the street facing sides. Partially on the north side of the lot, we have the 10-foot landscape barrier. But on the east side of the lot, we've not been able to maintain that just because we are actually getting the 15-foot or the 15 parking spaces needed. And we are able to enlarge the 1 parking space, which is shown as non-compliant on our site plan right now, from 17 to 22 feet. So we are able to do that. So I think that I will just say that this, while the drive-through is non-compliant, it is something that Vince has been operating for many years. It's I would say Emos is really an institution in the neighborhood. They would like to obviously maintain that business. It is not a drive-through where you pull up, have to sit in a queue and order. It's actually strictly just a pickup window. So you could drive through, pick up your pizzas, but you will have already ordered online. So queuing is not necessarily an issue, and you can you'll be able to pull up in your car having already had an order or made an order. But the thing that they are adding to the site as well, which I think maintains the kind of integrity of the urbanness of the neighborhood, is that previously they have not had a dine-in area, but they are adding a dine-in area, and the building will go from being at the back of the lot, so on the east side of the lot, to holding the corner on the southwest side of the lot. So much more urban condition with dining, with large areas of glass facing the street, facing Morgan Ford, so giving it more of an urban look. And then on the drive-through side, or on the south side of the building where the drive-through is, they will have a landscape buffer there, and then also some of the standard Emos murals on the building. So while we're looking at something which is non-compliant for certain regions, I think there are some hardships here with being able to operate that the building, or that the business is operated for the past, to that programming, being able to add pickup and dining to the program. And I think that concludes. I'm happy to take questions.
Board members, any questions?
I have a question. Sarah, you had mentioned something about the drive-through. Did I hear you right that the drive-through will basically be for orders that had already been placed, that people will basically come to pick up their pizza from the drive-through, but not really placing orders there?
That's correct. So it's not like a typical drive-through where you stop and there's a menu board and you place an order. It's actually it's for pickup only.
Okay.
And Vince is also here today. If I think he might be able to answer more specifics as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sarah, this is just a quick question. So did I understand you correctly? There is currently a drive-through window, or currently is it a walk-up window?
I believe it's drive up and walk through. And hopefully I'm answering that correctly. If I'm not, Vince, I think, can answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll ask him. All right. Thank you.
Jim.
Yes, thank you. Sarah, thank you for pointing out that there currently is a window on the existing building. I hadn't noticed that when I was looking at the rendering, the pictures. How many cars can queue up in the new layout? Because I noticed that there's no way for a car to escape once they go into the drive-through lane, whereas now there is. So how many cars deep do you think that drive-up window will allow?
Probably about 3 cars.
Okay, and the entrance is off of Morgan Ford, not off of Humphrey.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other board members? Thank you, Sarah. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Hearing none, Mr. Emo, are you present? I believe staff has questions.
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's get you sworn in. Do you have video?
I do not.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Emo. This is the court reporter speaking. Since you're on the phone, can you verbally confirm that your right hand is raised, and I'll administer the oath?
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mary,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi, Mr. Emo. Just a couple questions for
Hi.
you. At the current location, do you currently have a drive-up window, or is it just a walk-up window?
It is a drive-up window.
Okay. And then on the new plans for the drive-up window, is the drive-up window on the east side of the building so that it sort of faces what would be the back or the alley?
It is on the south side.
South side. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
and Mr. Emo, we have some standard conditions for these type of uses that I'm going to have Evan read. If there's anything in those standard conditions that you have any question, explain.
Okay.
All right. Restaurants drive-through, condition number 1 says the hours of operation for the drive-through shall be what you testify to here today. Number 2 says the petitioner shall provide a refuse container on the exterior of the premises for use by the customers. If another container is needed due to the level of business, it shall also be provided. Number 3 says the petitioner shall empty said refuse container on a daily basis or more frequently if needed, to minimize refuse being strewn into the adjoining neighborhood. Number 4 says that employees shall collect on-site and off-site litter, including food wrappers, containers, and packaging from restaurant products generated by the customers within an X number radius of the property, at least once per business day. Number 5 says the facility shall not have any cord or rope type LED lighting surrounding or framing its windows and doors. And number 6 is the premises shall not be issued a public nuisance notice pursuant to ordinance number 68535 or its successor ordinances. We didn't ask what your hours of operation are, but what are your planned hours of operation?
We're open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and to 12 p.m. on Friday and Saturdays currently.
Okay. And then, did you have any concerns about any of those other conditions?
No, that's no problem at all.
Okay.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions? Mary, you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you again, Mr. Chairman. Mr.
Yep.
Emo, one additional question. You, your last statement in regard to the hours of operation, you said those were currently your hours. Would you be looking to change your hours at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, I was just going to point out this would be the time to do that. So I want to make sure, just in case the board would decide to condition your hours, what I wrote down is you are open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and then Fridays
Yeah.
and Saturdays you're open 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. And then just one other question. This question is not meant to alarm you. I don't get a vote. But if the board would elect to approve the project without the drive-through window, is that a decision that would make or break the project?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. So the necessity of the without the drive-through window, you feel like you just might not get enough business?
They don't want to get out of their car to go in and grab their pizza. They just, and we normally don't have cars backed up because if the order's not ready, we tell them to pull around front and we carry it out to them after they pay for it.
Thank you.
Any other board members?
I have one final question. Mr. Emo, I'm curious, why are you tearing the old building down to build a new one? I see that the new one has a bit more, but what was the driver for that decision?
It was an old Shell station. It's falling apart. I've put enough Band-Aids on it over the years. It's not energy efficient. It's time. It's an eyesore to me. So I think I'm doing a great benefit for the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
Any other board members? Thank you, Mr. Emo. Is
You're
there
welcome.
anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
I have a great letter from the alderwoman. She's all for it.
Evan, we have that.
Correct.
Thank
That's
you.
included in the exhibits.
Okay.
Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning planning and urban design, letter of support from Alderwoman Daniela Velasquez, letter of support from Craig Jung, Director of Operations, Power Creative LLC, and an email letter of opposition from Dawn Walter of the 3800 block of Spring Avenue. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, will you please read appeal number 11996?
Appeal number 11996, 6945 Manchester Avenue.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to make interior alterations for a single-family dwelling, zoning only at per plans at 6945 Manchester Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of LMC Tower Grove LLC, care of David King, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to make interior alterations for a single-family dwelling, zoning only per plans at 6945 Manchester Avenue, located in city block number 4628.06. The present zoning for this address is Zone J, Industrial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions, sorry, just a second. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.08.170 frontage. All the land abutting on one side of a street or place between two intersecting streets or places, crossing or terminating, measured along the line dividing the street or place from the individual lots. Or if the street or place be a dead end, then all the property abutting on one side between an intersecting street or place and the dead end of the street or place. Or if neither of the above apply, then all the land abutting on one side of a particular block as designated by house numbers. And then finally, section 26.56.020 and/or 26.56.025, use regulations and conditional uses of the J Industrial District do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. In summary, the applicant is applying for a building permit to renovate an existing non-conforming structure into a loft-style single-family dwelling. This is located in the J Industrial District. And in the J District, no building shall be in any case hereinafter erected, nor shall any existing be converted, reconstructed, or structurally altered for dwelling purposes unless 40% or more of the block frontage is occupied by dwellings. And so while this parcel has a single-family dwelling to the west and north of it, its actual block frontage is all J industrial without any other dwellings. Therefore, in order to convert this, a use variance would be required prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states there's no adopted neighborhood plan that covers this location. However, the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a low-intensity corridor. This designation describes areas with a mix of uses, particularly commercial and retail, but it does allow for a range of housing, including some single-unit buildings. The granting of this request would be in keeping with the designation's intent of allowing a mix of housing options that fit the general character of the surrounding area. While staff does acknowledge that this parcel at first glance does not seem an ideal place for residential uses, one of the main goals of the SLOOP is to transition some industrial areas into a new mix of uses. The use in question, a single-family dwelling, is supported by this designation, and a new home here may aid in the gradual transition of the corridor into a friendlier mix of uses. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11996 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Evan,
Mary?
thank you. Evan, just a quick question. Was that a use variance and an area variance for the frontage or just a use variance?
Just a use variance.
Okay, thank you.
Any other board members? Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Mr. King, let's get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
David King, 2219 McCausland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63143.
Proceed with your testimony.
So I've been working with Evan, just back and forth communicating because this is something nothing I've done before. This is obviously I've tried to work with Brett. I contacted Brett, my alderman, Nerian, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Earlier in the summer, didn't hear anything back. I caught up with him and I guess a couple weeks ago at an Ellendale neighborhood meeting, and I guess he had sent an email to Mary, and I still haven't heard anything back yet. So moving forward, I think that part of the neighborhood, I've lived actually across the street from this structure, a storage unit for a majority of the time. And once I got an opportunity to actually look inside of it and see the potential, I'm working with the new owner to maybe see if I could actually get this transitioned into a residential building for me to live in. not a development for like multifamily or anything like that, or not to change the building or anything. The plot of land would change or would stay pretty much the same way it is. So I think I might have a good angle here on this is the building is actually in the backyard of like 5 homes on McCausland. I know it is facing Manchester, and I do understand the zone or the zoning being J and industrial. Obviously, most of the stuff on that street now is commercial and car lots, or it's car lots and like I guess a couple of businesses. Very, very. I don't want to say anything bad about anyone's business, but it's very kind of run down, and I don't think industrial to residential, I think would only help that part of the neighborhood. Speaking with the people that own those homes on McCausland, they've said it's been an eyesore for years. I guess the owner never really kept up with anything. It's kind of been an eyesore. It's in like I think some of the photos I presented shows that the building is actually in the backyard of those homes. Not to mention the front of the building is actually behind one of the homes too. So it's not all the way to the end of the street like it may seem. It's actually kind of behind everything. So my idea was to keep it the building the way it is, create a space upstairs to live in, like a studio, and keep the building in great repair, and hopefully maybe even start a little bit of that to kind of blossom into maybe some, maybe a couple more homes or something. I mean, or maybe even those businesses become a little bit more, I guess, change a little more in the direction that I think St. Louis is going into. Kind of getting rid of a little bit of the blight and kind of making that part of Manchester McCausland a little nicer. That corner there, I know as a industrial location, has been it's been changed over the year. Like they knocked down a couple of buildings right there on the corner, and they put in a turn because of the traffic congestion. I think an industrial place in there would actually probably, maybe even depending on how busy they are, bring that congestion back up more because of vehicles going in and out of there. So I think that's another good reasoning for hopefully making it more of a residential where you're not in and out as much as like a commercial or industrial building would be. So.
Any board members have any questions?
I have a question. Mr. King, this the rendering looks really, really, really terrific. How long will your project take?
I'm going to assume it's probably going to be at least a year, depending on obviously the alterations that are made. With like the roof is obviously, like you guys know, most of these flat roof buildings, the roof is like the first and foremost, and then getting it kind of closed in terms of keeping the weather out. There's some broken windows and stuff, and getting the front repainted and looking nice. So making actual changes, looking like the project's moving forward, that's the first. So obviously the winter time's not so helpful in those type of things, but hopefully as soon as springtime would come around, we would get a lot of that stuff under wrap. The roof being the first project, just because it's you don't have a good roof, you're not going to have a good building. So
okay, do you already have the construction company and everybody already in place? You already have everything set, and this would be I guess part of your process to go ahead and move forward. You ready to go? Like you get this approval, then you're ready to do everything else?
No, not exactly. This kind of started. I was just trying to see what it would, if it was even all possible. So, I mean, I myself do construction, so I would do a majority of the roof. I've done stuff to my home. I live across the street. I've applied for permits to do like I have a structure behind my home, like a kind of a garage kind of thing. So I would probably do a lot of the grunt because I'm not I'm not by any means you know, a big shot here in town. I make a modest living, so I do a lot of stuff myself. Plus, I'm very particular in the way things are done. So I would probably do a lot of it, and I do have a couple of groups I would work with for like windows and doors and stuff like that. But I myself would probably tackle a majority of it uh, in terms of exterior and the look. Now, the electrical components and plumbing and stuff, obviously, you have to, yeah. So, thank you.
Jim?
Yes, thank you, Mr. King. Just to be clear, you don't own the property yet, correct?
I do not. Me and the property owner have basically a verbal handshake going forward, saying if I can create enough excitement about maybe the neighborhood allowing this to, you know, obviously move forward, then that's when we would actually make an actual contract and get an agreement going. I tried to purchase it previously as a 100% industrial building before all this started, and unfortunately, I don't have the means to do so in terms of you know being able to pay the amount of industrial tax and or not tax but insurance on this building. It's quite different in terms of everything from the electricity to everything is quite a bit higher. So to live in a building that's you know zoned for industrial might kind of take me out financially just getting just keeping, you know, the lights on. So I think having this zoned residential would actually help me move forward with making this project a little more a success. And plus, obviously, if there's an industrial, there's no sense to put a living space in it. So it's very much in its infancy, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Evan, could you please answer a quick question for me? So if we grant the use variance, who would it be issued to? Would it be immediate? Would it be contingent upon a sale? Just could you explain that to us and to Mr. King?
Yeah, I mean, the city doesn't get involved in personal sales or agreements between individuals. So the proceedings would be addressed to the applicant, like as I read into the record, and then proceedings stay with the land. So.
Mhm.
And if they ever want to not have it be residential, would somebody have to go through a process in the future to turn it back to J? For instance, if the sale never went through,
It will still be J. It's just they will have the exception to do a single family dwelling, and those proceedings are typically reviewed by banks when issuing loans and so forth as a use by right. Then at that point.
Okay. Thank you. So hopefully that was helpful, Mr. King, just to make clear what could be going on.
Yeah,
what
I
could be
understand
happening.
fully. It's a little. This is kind of a little awkward. I was really hoping to get the alderman on board and have him kind of help me sell the vision a little bit, but I don't know if he's like super busy or whatever. I just didn't get much help there, and I kind of I was told by other business owners and people who own properties in the city to just reach out to Evan. He would kind of give me some guidance. So he's been fantastic. So
Thank you. That's all I have, Anthony.
Any other board members? Okay, so I have a question for either Evan, Mary, or possibly Archer. Should we grant this appeal? Can we make this contingent upon a building permit being issued?
I don't think that you can because the variance runs with the land. I'm open to hearing if Archer feels differently, but I think once you grant the variance, it runs with the land. So are you saying you want to put a condition on there that,
So I would put a condition on it, and if that condition is not met, then the variance does not happen.
so what would the condition be?
I am thinking of something like that obviously he doesn't have control of the property at this point. I understand what he's doing, but but the condition would be like that uh, David King would need to apply and receive a building permit for this residential alteration.
So I don't think that you could make the condition particular to David King because of the nature of the way that a variance runs with the land, not the applicant.
Gotcha.
Again,
Yep. And so then could we do that contingent upon anyone anyone who happens to do it, that they would need to uh, receive a building permit, even if it's not Mr. King?
So the
Well,
variance
anybody,
is what allows the
Yeah,
building permit to be
I don't-
issued.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The variance is what allows the building permit to be issued.
Right.
So it's similar to like the sign condition, except it's just implied. You can't build any structure in the city without a building permit. And so this is just an extra box that they have to check in that process, is getting the variance.
I think maybe, Mr. Robinson, I'm unclear what you're trying to protect.
That
Yeah.
in the event that Mr. King is unable to purchase this property and do what he intends to do, that it does not then become uh, a property that has basically rights to build.
But I mean, that's
Right.
that's
Yeah, that's
essentially
a
what the
variance.
use variance is, right? So any
Right.
future land use person could build a
It-
single family dwelling.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, request for support letter with 5 attachments submitted by petitioner, and 7 photos submitted by petitioner. With that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, will you please read appeal number 11997?
Appeal number 11997, 1228 Washington Avenue.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to make interior and exterior alterations to renovate an existing mixed-use building per plans at 1228 Washington Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Redmond Apartments LLC, care of Craig Heller, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to make interior and exterior alterations per plans, zoning only at 1228 Washington Avenue, located in city block number 835.00. The present zoning for this address is Zone I, Central Business District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.020, structures prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations for the district in which the premises are located, unless authorized by other provisions of the zoning code. Also, section 26.16.080D, off-street parking and loading requirements. The following schedule of parking spaces and layout standards shall apply to all parking facilities. Also, section 26.52.050 area regulations. There shall be a lot area of not less than 250 square feet for each dwelling unit, up to and including 8 stories or 100 feet in height. Thereafter, there shall be provided a lot area of not less than 100 square feet for each dwelling unit above 8 stories or 100 feet in height. Sleeper rooms without cooking facilities shall have a lot area of not less than 100 square feet each. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. In summary, the applicant is applying for a building permit to renovate an existing mixed-use building. The renovations will include updating a portion of the first floor ground level for a residential lobby with some amenity space. There's no work being proposed for the existing commercial space on the first floor. The second and third floor will consist of renovating existing space for 26 dwelling units and some exercise rooms. There's no work being proposed on this application for the remaining floors. In the I district, the lot area shall have no less than 250 square feet of land for every dwelling unit up to 8 stories. This proposal will add 26 dwelling units for a total in this building of 74 dwelling units, which would require a lot area of 18,500 square feet of land. However, this lot is only 15,248 square feet of land. Therefore, an area variance is required for density of population. And then additionally, the I district doesn't require off-street parking, but if it is being provided, it has to adhere to the layout standards. And the parking provided below ground level, there's 15 spaces. It does not conform to the 90-degree 8.5 wide by 18 feet deep, and therefore an area variance is required for the layout of the parking. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that the site falls within the boundaries of Design Downtown STL plan. The Design Downtown STL plan has broad goal of increasing the number of housing units in downtown, especially along Washington Avenue corridor. The granting of this variance is exactly in keeping with this neighborhood plan. And then the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this Central Area East. These areas are intended to be very walkable, bikeable, and transit friendly with high quality pedestrian infrastructure. The variance would be in keeping with the designation's intent to create a dense pedestrian friendly environment focused on mixed use buildings and multi-unit housing. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11997 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Evan.
Okay, Mr. Heller, let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes, Craig Heller, 315 North 11th Street, number 1203, St. Louis, Missouri, 63101.
Thank you. Proceed.
I think Evan did a great job of explaining the issues at hand here, but the project that we envision is the rework of the Rudman building. Well, this was an old historic warehouse building that the McGowan brothers repurposed about 22 years ago into restaurants, office space, and apartments. Unfortunately, you might be familiar with it, it's the building where Lucas Park Grill was for many years. But unfortunately, it's kind of in disrepair and distressed. The building is currently completely empty. Part of the issue here is the second and third floor was built out as office space years ago. There's currently not a market for that, and that space has been empty for many, many years. So our plan entails, as Evan mentioned, construction of 13 new apartments on each of those floors, which then pushes us above the density limit in the I-zoning and the need for the being here today. The other issue is the parking. As Evan mentioned, it doesn't, in this historic building, doesn't conform to the modern standards. This parking is existing when it was rehabbed years ago. The McGowans put parking in the basement. We're not making any changes to it, but as Evan says, it doesn't conform with the aldermen's in favor, Greater STL, other downtown neighborhood associations and other organizations, all have provided support letters. So I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Any board members have any questions? Jim?
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Mr. Heller. Quick question. So on the schematics, what is currently on floors 4 through 7 or 8, whatever, how many floors there are? There existing apartments that are just not occupied?
None of them are occupied, no. The building is completely empty.
Okay. So they mentioned that this application is only for floors 1 through 3. So, Evan, if there's any future plans for beyond floor 3, would they have to go back through this process likely?
Not if it's more than the units I mentioned. I apologize, 70 something. Because part of that information when I'm putting together a write-up comes from the assessor's office.
Okay.
So they dictate how many, I mean, they're not dictating, but they are, assessing how many units exist currently. So because the renovations were on the floors that are presented in the plans, I was able to tell how many additional, because currently none of those floors that are being proposed as residential are residential, or were in the past, which is why they were assessed as such.
But there are existing units in those, Mr. Heller, there is existing units the way the diagrams look, right?
That is correct. The 4th through the 8th floor has 48 residential apartments.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board members? Thank you, Mr. Heller. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, a letter from Craig Heller, petitioner, Rudman Apartments LLC, Vice President, Development, letter of support from Alderman Rasheen Aldridge, letter of support from Matt O'Leary, Executive Director, Downtown Forward, a letter of support from Matt O'Leary, Executive Director, Washington Avenue Corridor Community Improvement District, a letter of support from Ron Kitchens, Managing Partner, Great St. Louis, Inc., and a letter of support from the St. Louis Downtown Neighborhood Association. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard.
Thanks, everyone.
Drea. Thanks, Mr. Heller. Drea, will you please read appeal number 11998?
Appeal number 11998, 8375 North Broadway.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and
I do.
about the truth?
I do. Sorry, did you hear me? Our internet's not very good here today, so there's been some lag.
Yes, I hear you. Thank you.
Again, good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis. I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to replace one ground sign per plans with an electronic message center at 8375 North Broadway. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Church of God at Baden Trustees, care of Chris Smith with Dale Sign Services, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to replace one ground sign per plans with an electronic message center located in city block number 4278.00. The present zoning for this address is F, Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.68.010 scope of chapter. These regulations shall govern and control the erection, remodeling, enlarging, moving, operation, and maintenance of all signs by conforming uses within all zoning districts. Nothing herein contained shall be deemed a waiver of the provisions of any other ordinance or regulation applicable to signs. Signs located in areas governed by several ordinances and/or applicable regulations shall comply with all such ordinances and regulations. Also, section 26.68.0206 definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following terms, phrasing, words, and their deviations shall have the meaning given herein. Number 6 is the electronic message center, which means a sign or device capable of displaying letters, numbers, words, symbols, figures, or images, including graphics that can be electronically, digitally, or mechanically changed by remote or automatic means. This definition includes what is commonly referred to as a digital sign or device. And then finally, section 26.68.090C, permitted sign types, and it lists wall, window, ground, marquee, roof signs are permitted. Projection signs are also permitted that comply with the provisions of this definition section, designated as section 26.68.02015. A through E are permitted. And evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying to replace an existing ground sign. The new sign will include an electronic message board. It's located in the F district, where electronic message centers are not a permitted sign type. Therefore, a use variance would be required prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency says that in general, adopted elements of the comprehensive plan of the City of St. Louis, including the strategic land use plan and neighborhood plans, do not address signage and have no recommendations. In review of appeal number 11998, Planning and Urban Design staff have determined that the special circumstances, which sometimes warrant further scrutiny, which might include location, size, orientation, content, adopted plan that specifically addresses signage. These things have not been met, and therefore there's no findings of conformity with adopted plans of the City of St. Louis. So with that, are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Hi. Is Lisa on?
Lisa, okay, let's get you sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
They showed me. That's funny.
Trisha, you're on. You have to mute. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, please mute your phone if you're not giving direct testimony. Thank you. Sorry, Lisa, let's try this again. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Shear, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
The mailing address is 8375 North Broadway. My name is Lisa Shear. Thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I am the director of Baden Christian Child Care Center. We're again in North Broadway in the Baden neighborhood. We've been there. The child care has been there. Now this is our 28th year. And we've served families, generations of families have been here. We're a staple in the community. This past Christmas, we provided everything from coats to mittens, gloves to gifts. We actually just do a whole lot of things in our community, including feeding them and Thanksgiving meals. So we are more than just a child care program, but we do serve families and rely on those families rely on us for safe, affordable, and consistent child care for their needs, for them to be able to work and go to school and just support their households. So when the child care is struggling, families struggle, and right now we are struggling. A lot of small businesses have been struggling since COVID, and since COVID, we have not been able to get our enrollment. Hardship for us. We have been doing all the things, buying the banners, putting signs out, putting street signs out, going door to door, passing out things. And so we were able to get some funding for a sign through a grant. And of course, now we're trying to make sure we're able to get that. I do want to say that the LED sign that we are looking at is not a very large sign because we couldn't afford a very large sign, first of all. But it is very to help us share enrollment with families about our location. A lot of times, because we are connected to the church, they just think we're a church, so they don't think that we're a child care center. And then it would be able to announce also things like community events when we're having Thanksgiving, when we're giving out meals, those kind of things for our community as well. It would be able to give timely information. And then I wanted to just point out that, again, it's going to be modest in size, appropriate for it's going to actually be smaller than the size that we currently have. We'll be responsible with it. We're going to make sure that it has all good things on there, limited in brightness and messaging, and then focused on the community and information for that. We did receive letters of support from local businesses, and on our call we have over a dozen people on here. Some had to get off for meetings, but we have had a lot of support from our community in our neighborhood. We're good neighbors, so we just thank you for this opportunity, and yeah, I hope that we would just like to be able to get this, and we think that it would help us to serve our community. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions?
I have.
Yes, Mary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Robinson, please go ahead with the board member first. I'll follow up.
Okay. Yes, Dean.
Sorry, Mary.
That's okay. You trump me.
I wanted to know, this sign that exists right now is encased in this brick. And so I want to know, will the new sign basically go inside this brick structure that's already there? I can see that it's quite old, but I'm wondering, are you going to use that, or are you tearing the whole thing down?
Yes, I'm sorry. That's going to be torn down. It is a very old sign, and it'll be going in that same place so that it's off the street, but it's not going to be one way facing. It'll be two ways. So you'll be able to see it from both sides if you're at, either of the lights right there.
I see. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is for Ms. Scheer. So the types of things that you intend to advertise on the sign, are those only going to be products or services that are offered on site?
So we'll be advertising, so just that we're enrolling, so what ages we're enrolling. It would have, could be our hours of operation on there if we're enrolling at that point. It would be, for summer camp, something like along those lines. So it would just be advertising, to help our enrollment. And we do have, like I said, we do things in the community. So we'd like to be able to give them some, current information other than buying a sign and putting it up each time,
Sure. So the reason I bring that up is because in our sign code, of it or a product or a service that is sold on site. So that means you couldn't sell any advertising for something and put it on the sign. I just want to make sure you understand that, because a lot of people purchase the electronic message center signs thinking they can sell advertising on them. That would be considered a off-premise advertising device, and those are not allowed.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I just want
ours is just for the services that, and I was reading that, trying to decipher what that meant also, but we're just going to the services that we offer.
Okay. In addition to that, the board has some standard conditions that they will traditionally consider for electronic message center signs. They don't always put all of these conditions on every sign, but they are conditions that the board might consider during deliberations. So I wanted to read those conditions off to you. And then if you have an issue with any of them, this would be the time to talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
So number 1 says that no sign shall be illuminated that it interferes with the effectiveness of an official traffic signal, sign, or device. Number 2, any flashing, blinking, fading, scrolling, fluctuating, or animation is prohibited. So what that condition means is that you would only be allowed to show like a static image and not have any like, I don't know, sometimes you might see a lot of moving things on these.
Scrolling and
They
stuff,
can
yeah.
they can function much like a television screen. So just to give you an idea of what that condition.
Yeah, I don't believe that
Okay.
we have that fancy. Sorry.
No problem. Number 3 says that such signs shall display static images for a period of at least X seconds or minutes before transitioning to another static image. So what that means is the board may put a condition on you that says, you know, you have to, not only are you only allowed to show a static message, but that static message can change no more frequently than however
X
many
amount of time.
per second.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the sign shall, another condition, number 4, is the sign shall only be eliminated. They will limit the time that you can eliminate a sign to certain hours, like your hours of operation or something like that. Incidentally, what are your hours of operation? And then are hours that you might want to eliminate the sign different from your hours of operation?
Well, they're currently 6 to 6 and
Okay.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I mean, if we're given a condition of times, then you know we would abide by those. Would be helpful to be able to have that on Saturdays and Sundays when, you know, if we have our food pantry open or advertised, you know, services, those kind of things.
Okay,
But
so
if there's a condition, you know, we would
sure.
abide by that.
Currently, the daycare is open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. just Monday through Friday.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then you would also want the ability to turn the sign on Saturdays and Sundays from the same time period, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 5 says such signs shall come equipped with automatic dimming technology, which automatically adjusts the sign's brightness based on ambient light levels. So this is a device that automatically adjusts the light on the sign so that if for some reason that sign faces into a residential property, I don't know if yours does or not, but the gist of this condition is to keep the signage from putting light pollution on the residential areas.
Ours doesn't.
And then number 6 says such sign shall not exceed 0.3 foot candles above ambient light as measured using a foot candle meter at a preset distance based on sign size. Number 7 is no such sign shall emit any odor, noise, amplified sound, or music, radio frequencies, or visible matter other than light. And then number 8, all existing temporary signage on the premises must be removed, and all existing signage on the property must have the appropriate permits from the city of St. Louis. So if there's any of those that you want to discuss with the board or you might find hard to abide by, this would be the time to talk about that.
I don't have an issue with any of those. I would just, you know, like if we were able to have it, you know, 7 days a week with, you know, times 6 to 6 or some guidance is fine. It just would be very nice to be able to, you know, like I said, part of why we want that is because we do a lot of things with our community and we want them to be able to know what's going on. They'll always be like, oh, I didn't know that was going on this week, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it would just be helpful to be able to do that on the weekend as well.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Any other board members? Thank you, Ms. Shearer.
Thank
Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Yes, Mary. Let's get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
I'm sorry, I need to be able to hear your response.
Yeah, I apologize. Yes, I swear.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
I am Mary Crockett Smith, 8923 Riverview Drive, St. Louis, Missouri.
Proceed with your testimony.
I hear Ms. Shear, she's being very modest. They are a pillar in the community, make the biggest differences. Always having something for a community, table of food at all times, things that need to happen as far as a food bank. They can always come in and get clothing and shoes. They are a complete asset to a community in which I serve in as a child care provider at the top half of Bell Fountain in Riverview. This awesome program offers something very unique that we need in our community, very small, very impersonal, and every child cannot work in large centers like myself. Every situation, every child is not a diamond. Sometimes they are squares. And this lady offers phenomenal optimal care. She is accredited and has so many resources that she offers the community. I mean, even in rapid responses when it comes to tornado, when it comes to the SNAP food services, when it comes to diapers, when it comes to PPE and all the things that we have needed in these last couple of years, from COVID to government shut down to parents not being capable and able to provide for their children. This is the resource in our community. We cannot afford to allow this situation to possibly end in a conversation where they are closing, because all of those wonderful services that this community needs direly will be put to an end. And she and that wonderful community have done just optimal things. And I'm so proud to say whatever needs to happen down there, we need to reconsider and make it work in this community. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Ms. Collins.
Hi, I'm sorry. Let me mute the other meeting I'm on. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm ready to be sworn in.
Okay.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, if you can state your name and mailing address for the record.
Cortega Collins. My center is at 1297 Amherst Place, St. Louis, Missouri, 63112.
Okay, proceed.
I just am on this meeting in support of Lisa Shear and Baden Child Care Center, and as a colleague of Lisa's and someone who's familiar with her work and her contributions to the community, I just like to stand in support of whatever she needs to be able to increase the visibility of her school and to provide and to increase access to children in her community. So I'm in support of whatever it is that they need to be able to move forward with their project, because they are an asset to the community, and their failure to do that could be detrimental to the community at large for the children that they're serving. So just want to lend my support as a colleague, someone who's familiar with her work, with her integrity, with her work ethic. I'm just in support of what she's doing.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Ms. Sapp.
Thank you.
Yes.
I didn't know how to unmute it.
No problem.
My name is Danielle.
So
Oh, I
Ms.
got it.
Sapp, we need to get you sworn in.
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Danielle Sapp, and I am the Assistant Director at Baden Christian Child Care.
And you can also
I just want to say that, like, our families depend on us. We are safe, affordable, and consistent child care. Right now, we're struggling with enrollment, not because families don't need care, but because many don't know where we're at or that we're enrolling because our sign, as you've seen, the other one is dark and it's basically for our church at this point. But the LED sign we're requesting is about communication. It would allow us to share important information like the enrollments, closures, and the community events that we do have to the people who pass our location every day. We're committed to being good neighbors and using a sign that is modest, respectful, and community focused. This request is about being a longstanding child care resource, visible and available to families who need it. That's it. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Hi,
Okay. The person with the iPhone 7, what is your name?
Sylvia Robertson.
Okay, Sylvia, let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, now can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Sylvia Robertson. I live 289 Andes Drive in Glen Carbon, Illinois. 62034. I spend a lot of time in the Baden community at 805 Church Drive, and I am around this community a lot. A lot of people do not know that Ms. Shears and them, the services that they offer. There's no sign that tells the community that they're giving out milk or that they have coats available, things like that. Their hours of operation. People don't know that there's a daycare center, a faith-based daycare center available for them in that neighborhood. Then they need to know that. I've been down there several times and enjoyed the environment. It's a great, loving environment for children. Thank you for your time.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Ms. Sharp. You were muted.
Sorry.
No problem.
My phone didn't want to cooperate.
No problem. Let's
Do
get
you
you
swear
sworn in.
or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Deborah Sharp, 8419 Halls Ferry Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63147.
Proceed.
I just would like to encourage the board to pass this variance for our daycare and our community. I have attended the church for over 50 years. I have been the director of the daycare before and currently volunteer there. And it is difficult with the old sign facing forward, and people aren't able to see it or read it. And if we have something that can just pass out the information brighter and better, that we can change when we have events or giving out food or clothing and things like that, or that the child care is enrolling, and just being able for our community to see that information better would help our childcare and our community. Thank you.
Okay, is there any board members that have any questions? All right, is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Yes.
Rainice?
Yes.
Let's get you sworn in.
Do you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Hello? Thank you.
I am in support of the signage
Okay,
for.
I'm sorry. I need your name and mailing address for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Rainice Charleston. My mailing address is 8923 Riverview Drive, St. Louis, Missouri 63137.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I am in support of the signage for the Baden Child Care Center as a colleague as well of Miss Lisa. She does great work in our community. She helps our center as well at the other half of Baden with resources and anything that we need. And also being in the community of childcare, in those hidden spaces, you don't always get to see all the resources that you need. So outside of being in the field, it is very helpful to have the signage that you need in front of your facility where people that are passing by that don't know, they can easily access it to see things that are available for them as well in their communities instead of having to outsource or feel like there's no help and it's right there in the community, but you don't always have the available signage to see the hours of operation, things that are available to you. So I'm in support of whatever they need to keep them open to also be a resource to us as well.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Can I add something? This is Miss Robertson. Hey. Can I add something? It's just that I wanted, by me being in the community, even after hours of operation, that the community needs to be able to see that sign even after her hours of operation.
I definitely understand that, Ms. Robertson. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone?
And this is Mary Buchanan.
Ms.
I'm
Buchanan,
sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you have video?
No, I don't. I'm on the phone.
Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Ms. Buchanan, sorry, this is the court reporter. Because you're on the phone, can you please verbally confirm that your right hand is raised and I can administer the oath?
It is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Buchanan, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Certainly. Mary Buchanan, 404 Adams Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63135.
Proceed with your testimony.
Yes, I have been a long time associate with the Child Care Center as well as the church, and I have seen all of the just superb work that has gone on in order to serve the community. I just wanted to make it known, not only are these things being done, but they're being done with a heart for the children and the community at large. Lisa Shear has been extremely capable and visionary in reorganizing some things so that we can serve the community even more through this. The getting the accreditation and making sure that these children have what they need and supplying things for their families. that are in need. It's just been tremendous. It's a support. It's something that I personally would support, and I just request that the variance be passed for the child care center for the benefit of the community.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Ms. Jones, it looks
Okay. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
we can't hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, can you see me now?
Now we can see you and hear you.
All
Let's
right.
get you sworn in.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Patricia Jones. Mailing address is 7901 North Broadway, St. Louis, Missouri, 63147.
Proceed.
I would like to say that I am a neighbor as well, a Baden, in the Baden area, and I support Ms. Shear and the idea that she has for the signage. And as everyone else has already stated, Ms. Shear is awesome in every avenue that she touches. She not only helps the community in Baden, which is a very a needy area, but Ms. Shear goes outside of the Baden community to help any and everyone that she can. It's not just via the signage, but she also puts everyone before her. So I am in total support of this signage so that she will be able to do whatever it is that she needs to do to continue to reach our community as well as others.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Yes, sir. And what is your name? You're muted.
My name is Levi Smith.
Mr. Smith, let's get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Levi Smith, 8923 Riverview.
Proceed with your testimony.
So I just want to say first off that Miss Lisa is a huge reason that I'm in childcare. I just recently got my side by side, hands-on help from her personally. I just think she's an awesome, very awesome individual, friend, and like a mother figure to me. She does great work in the area that she's in the area that is in need of a lot of good people and a good place for these children to be. And I've been in there personally quite a few times. I think that that anything or any type of effort or support that she needs should be seen or given to her, because she's one of those, to put it quite frankly. She's one of those. She's serious about the community. She's serious about these kids. She's serious about the quality of education and care that they receive. So I would just like to put that on testimony for her character and her impact as a Black male in childcare, where it's not that many of them. She's a huge reason as to why I am where I am and where I'm going. So that's really all I have to say about that.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, a letter from Lisa Shear, Director of Baden Christian Child Care Center, Inc., and 6 letters of support submitted by the petitioner. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. With that, we conclude the end of the testimonial portion of our hearing. We will now go into deliberations. Thank you, Laura, for your assistance.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
everyone.
Chairman,
Thank you.
Yes.
could we
Mary.
please have just a small break? Before we
Is
go
3
into
minutes good?
deliberations. Oops.
We will adjourn for 3 minutes. We will be back at 3:20.
Thank you all.
About paying you $1,500 and to pay her back. The normal response would be, you only pay me.
Okay. Appeal number 11995, 3222 Morgan Ford Road.
Not sure if Joe is back yet. Is Joe back?
Hmm.
We're trying to reach him.
Thanks, Evan.
We're all here now, Anthony.
Okay. Appeal number 11995, 3222 Morganford Road. Do I hear a motion or comments?
I thought what Mr. Emo was saying about the building, he's been putting a lot of Band-Aids on it. He's been in the community for quite some time. I used to eat Emo's pizza back in the day. I haven't had it in quite some time. But I do remember that is good stuff, okay? But having a building that is not that's a challenge for an owner is something that I would hate to see the business leave because it is not a viable building. And what he has in mind seems to be quite interesting for the area. And there's already a drive-through. I understand that drive-through would be kind of in a different spot, sort of, on the property, but I think that this sounds like a new 21st century opportunity for the area.
Deneen, and the rest of the board, I did not realize I had a window until Ms. Gibson pointed it out. It just didn't jump out at me from looking at the pictures of the building. I even drove by it twice. I didn't realize that there was a pickup window there. The location of the pickup window will be different. If you look at the diagrams, basically you're going to enter off of Morganford, right almost to the corner on Humphrey and Morganford. So it's a little bit south of where you would enter currently. And once you're in that lane, there's no way to get out of there until they have you pull forward. Mary or Evan, I have a question. If we were to accept this, and can we put a restriction about the type of drive-through window? As they mentioned, it's just a pickup window. You're not ordering in that lane. You have to order online. mean,
I think Jim is reading our minds, Evan.
Yes, we were just
We were just talking about that. I think you could put some, actually, this was Evan's idea, so I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I think you could put something to the effect that it's a drive up for our a pickup window for, orders that are called in and pre-ordered. And then what that would do is, if it would ever go away, and not to pick on Taco Bell, but let's say a Taco Bell wanted to go in there, a Taco Bell wouldn't be able to go in there as a use by right. They'd have to come back and change that condition. Of course, I'm always going to defer to Archer if she thinks I'm stepping out of line here, but I think you could probably put a condition about what type of window it is.
because I like to stand up for the sloop. I was trying to think through if there's a way to prevent essentially the kind of like screen drive-throughs that really do change the character of a neighborhood. And of course, the variances stay with the land, and the sloop says this is not in keeping. So, yeah, I think that would be a good idea, Jim.
great minds think alike, right?
So,
So,
no, I'm just saying, is that a motion?
oh, okay. Well, do we need to hear from Archer since you mentioned, or Mary mentioned Archer's name?
I wouldn't have anything to add unless you had other questions, but I would have said essentially the same thing in a little bit less detail because Mary has the details.
All right, then or Deneen, do you want to make the motion? I'll be happy to.
Go for it, Jim.
All right. I move that we grant the variance subject to the envisioned pickup window is truly a pickup window and not an order window or an order lane. And that orders placed for drive-through pickup will be placed online or by phone.
So essentially, you want this to be a window where only orders are picked up that have been ordered in advance.
That would be a good way to put it. Yeah.
And Jim, do you want any of the standard conditions we read, or would you prefer to leave those off?
Well, we'd have to, where there are a number of them, we need to, I guess, pick and choose which, okay. So
Or we can go with
all of them.
All of them. I didn't. So Mr. Emo had no issue with any of the conditions that were read. So I would.
Okay, so I move that we grant the variance subject to all of the conditions that were read, and with one addition concerning the pickup window, as I described, and that Mary, I'm sure, eloquently recorded.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by George. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Jim?
That they will not be a detriment to the community.
As conditioned?
As conditioned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appeal number 11996, 6945 Manchester Avenue. Anyone?
thought what he had planned to do with the structure was pretty nifty. And it is in a very interesting state as it is, and so it would actually elevate, you know, that spot. There's nothing happening right now, and it is set back, so it's not right on the street. So I don't see how it would take anything away. And the way that it's positioned is like it's in, as he mentioned a few times, which I could understand, it's like it's in the people's backyard that are on the other side of the property. So it looks like it's tucked away in my opinion. He seems to understand obviously what he could do versus what somebody else would do in order to do the project. Yeah, since he doesn't own it yet, obviously he obviously wouldn't be able to really do too much until he can figure, get to the point where this is approved. So if this isn't approved, then he's not obviously going to be able to move forward with his handshake deal that he has with the owner. And he said it's going to take 1 year, which is, in my opinion, quite bold considering what that building is. He might run into some things, but he said 1 year.
We did not read any standard conditions to him or have any contemplate any conditions during the meeting, did we?
We don't
We
really
didn't.
have any standard conditions
Not for
for a
residential.
single family home.
Yeah.
Looking back at my notes, I don't see anything that it basically looks like he's going to be taking a lot of risk. So.
And Chairman, you were making mention of, or you were asking about a contingency. I think we might have settled that, although I couldn't read that part of my handwriting. But you were saying contingent upon a building permit. Did we settle that in this? Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion made by George, seconded by Deneen. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Findings, George?
It shouldn't be a detriment.
Thank you.
Okay. Appeal number 11997. 1228 Washington Avenue.
I thought this one would be, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought this one would be an excellent opportunity for downtown. It's been vacant for a long time. It's going from 48 units to 74. I think activating a building like this would really be really super cool. Getting the city some money and keeping a building from just basically rotting more where it is. I think this sounds like a really great opportunity for St. Louis and downtown.
I agree. Do we have a motion?
Yes, I motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Deneen, seconded by Jim. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Deneen?
Should not be a detriment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appeal number 119 North Broadway.
I'll speak up first. I'm totally in favor of us approving this variance. I'm not so sure that some of the restrictions that were potential restrictions that we need to have them. I don't necessarily think that we need to restrict to the hours to the same hours that the daycare operates. I think we can go beyond the hours of the daycare. Definitely can go beyond. Put them in on the weekends to allow the board. In fact, I'm pretty open to pretty wide, with almost no restrictions on the hours that they can display that the board can be operating. It's I didn't see any neighbors right close by. There's a post office across the street. It's a wide street, and I don't see any reason to put any restrictions on the hours, or at least not 6 to 6, Monday through Friday. What were some of the other restrictions that you read off, Mary?
I was just getting them out for you. Thank
Yeah.
you. The first one says that no sign shall be illuminated that interferes with the effectiveness of an official traffic sign, signal, or device. So that's a safety issue. It's a pretty standard one. I've never known the board to approve an electronic message center sign and not have that condition on there. Number 2, any flashing, blinking, fading, scrolling, fluctuating, or animation is prohibited. Number 3 is the condition where we talk about the static image and we limit the times that it can change. That condition is worded, such signs shall display static images for a period of at least whatever seconds, minutes before transitioning to another static image. I don't know, we used to have these often enough that I feel like there was kind of an average time that you guys used. It's been a little while since we've had one. I think I remember you putting time restrictions on there, some as low as maybe 20 seconds and some as much as maybe 2 minutes. That's up for you guys to decide. And
We
then
agree, Mary. Dre and I were just talking about the time and trying to remember how long, and we agree with you completely that it's varied.
Yeah. And then we've already said to eliminate number 4, which was the condition that limited the times the sign could be on. Number 5 says such signs shall come equipped with automatic dimming technology, which automatically adjusts the sign's brightness based on ambient light levels. I think I can speak that when we first developed these conditions, the electronic message center signs were kind of a new thing. I think almost all of them come equipped with this kind of equipment. It doesn't hurt to put the condition on there. If you're wondering how that may or may not help, we once had an electronic message center sign that was shining brightly into a residential area's bedroom of a residential home, and they complained about it, and we were able to get them to use this dimming technology, and it took care of the problem, and everyone has lived happily ever after since then. I'm happy to report. Let's see. Number 6, such signs shall not exceed 0.3 foot candles above ambient light as measured using a foot candle meter at a preset distance based on sign size. Number 7, no sign shall emit any odor, noise, amplified sound, or music, radio frequencies, or visible matter other than light. And then number 8 is that all existing temporary signage on the premises must be removed, and all existing signage on the property must have the appropriate permits from the city of St. Louis.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah.
Jim, I think probably every one of those conditions short of the hours, I think should stand. What are your thoughts?
Those are my thoughts. And yeah, when you mentioned number 4, that was just my thoughts, Mary. We hadn't all agreed to that yet. But I will make a motion that we approve is it variance that we're approving?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Approve the variance with the conditions, with the 8 conditions listed except for number 4.
And how long did you want the signs to stay static?
Oh, yes.
Oh. So the time is how the minimum number
The minimum
seconds
I can remember is 20 seconds.
or is the
And
maximum?
the
But is it
the longest I can remember is 2 minutes, unless anybody else can remember us having one longer than that. But I can't.
2 minutes is good.
This road's pretty fast, so you may lean towards a longer up to, and then they could reduce it.
okay? Then on item number 3, my motion is modified of up to 2 minutes.
Could I interject? You could have the sign.
Well, right now there is no condition on the
He took
hours
that
of the sign.
condition completely off.
It's been completely removed.
So without that condition, their sign can be eliminated whenever they choose to eliminate it.
But not
I'll
to be a
second.
nuisance. Okay, not to be a nuisance? The sign,
Yeah, we could add that condition if Jim wants to.
because
So that nuisance condition is triggered by one of those nuisance notices. I'm not sure how a sign would get a nuisance.
no, I'm just saying, because you don't want the sign to be on 24 hours. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Normally, signs are on for most businesses from when they start to when they close.
so I disagree with that, George, and I think in this particular case, I think that defeats really the purpose of what they're trying to do, which is to get business in. And if you think about them being open from 6 to 6 and people are coming through after hours, I agree with Jim. I don't really like that condition for this particular sign. I am going to second Jim's motion as conditioned. All of those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Jim?
Will not be a detriment as conditioned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meeting minutes. Anyone read the meeting minutes and can?
I did look them over, reviewed all of them. I move that we accept the meeting minutes of January 14th.
I'll second that. Motion made by Jim, seconded by me. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. New business, Mary?
Have no new business for you, and we have no meeting next week. So happy Kitten Bowl, happy Puppy Bowl, happy Super Bowl. And if you go to Soulard, happy Pet Party Parade.
Thanks. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. Motion made by George, seconded by me. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll see you later.
Bye.